Hello, sixth graders. Today we get to find the area formulas. A lot of this is going to be review, but we're going to be learning some new things as well. So take a look as we go here, okay? Finding the area of a parallelogram. You're going to take the area, or you're going to take the base times the height. So when you see a parallelogram, you might see some numbers you might not even need. For example, this parallelogram has a 16 for the base, so I'll put a 16 right there for the base. The height, is it the 8 or is it the 7? Well, this dotted line here represents the height, which is 7. This slant, this 8, is not needed when finding the area of a parallelogram. So we have to do 16 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. So my answer is 112. And now I have to make sure I label it inches squared. Let's move on to the next problem. We have a rectangle here. How do you find the area of a rectangle? It's base times the height. Well, let's take a look here. I have 1 foot for my height and I have 30 inches for my base. I could either convert them both into inches or I could put them both into feet. Let's put them both into feet. 30 inches, I'm going to take 30. And how many 12s can go into 30? 2.5 12s can go into 30. So 30 inches is 2.5 feet. Okay, because 2 times 12 is 24, plus another 6 inches would get me to 30. So all I'm doing is my base is 2.5, my height is 1, 2.5 times 1 is 2.5. So my answer is 2.5 feet. Let's move on to the next one. Here's another parallelogram. I have a base of 20, I have the whole base is a 20 here. Looks like I have another base of a 12 and I have a height of 9. It's getting a little trickier. Let's just see if I can fall for the trick or not. So if this is a 12 here, that means this line right here is also 12. This 20 represents this dotted line too, and I don't need that 20 right now. Okay, so how do I find the area of this parallel? It's base times the height. Well, my base is 12. My height is 9. Well, what's 12 times 9? 2 times 9 is 18. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 108. So we have 108. Let's just check it on my calculator just to make sure I did that correctly. 12 times, yep, it's 108. So I have 108 centimeters squared. Next one, we have ourselves a triangle, okay? Let's take a look at this triangle here, okay? Which one of these is the base and which one of these is the height? Well, if I'm looking close at this, so how do you find the area of a triangle? You're going to take half the base, or you can do the base times the height, and you can divide it by 2, okay? Or you can take half of the base, and then you multiply it by the height, okay? So let's take a look here. Where is my base? My base is 13. My height is 7. This 10 is not needed. So if I'm looking at my problem, what's half of 13? Half of 13 is 6.5. I apologize. My height is 7, so I'm going to do 6.5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45. Got a decimal here, so move the decimal in one spot. My answer is 45 and 5/10 millimeter squared. Let's keep going here. Here's another shape. I've got another triangle here that I have to. They're trying to get tricky on you, but if this is a right angle right here, this is a right angle right here. Okay? So that means I'm going to have 10 feet be my base. I'm going to have 11 feet be my height. So what's the area of a triangle? It's half the base times the height, right? Half the base times the height, or base times height divided by 2. Let's see how I do it. If my base is 10, if I cut that in half, I'm going to go 5 times 11. My answer is 55. That's pretty easy. My answer is 55 feet squared. Once again, they're going to try and throw numbers in there that are going to confuse you, but you don't need those. Here's a trapezoid, and I've done this with you before, but I'll tell you again. To find the area of a trapezoid, here's your formula. You have A, which is the one base, plus B, this is the other base, divided by 2, and I'm going to multiply it by the height. That's how you do this formula for a trapezoid. Now you're probably wondering, what is A and B? Well, here's my trapezoid. A is one base, B is another base. So this top line here, for this bottom line, is 18. So I'm going to do 18 plus this next line here is 30 plus 10, which is 40. divide by 2, and I'm going to multiply by the height, and it looks like my height is 24. So 40 plus 18 equals 58. So this would be 58. Divided by 2 equals 29. 29 is what is in these parentheses. Now I have to multiply that number by 24. 29 times 24 equals 696 meters squared. We'll be working some more with this, but if you have a trapezoid today, keep in mind the top and the bottom, your parallel lines, are your A and B bases. Doesn't matter if this is A and if this is B, it doesn't matter. You add them both up, then you go ahead and divide it by 2, then you multiply it by the height. Okay, let's move on to another problem here. In problem 7 and 8, all dimensions are given as variables. Write a true statement in terms of the variables to express the area of the figure. So taking a look at number 7, we have to find the area of this triangle. And remember, this is half base times the height, or it's base times height divided by 2. Well, taking a look here, my base is A plus A, but it looks like this is divided in half. So if I just simply go A times B, that's actually going to be the answer to this problem because this C is not needed. And if I only take one of these A's, because I could go A plus A and divide by 2, but I'm just going to take one of these because that's half of my base times the height. Let's move over to this parallelogram. Remember, a parallelogram is your base times your height. Well, if I'm taking a look at my base there, that is M plus N. M plus N, okay? And then I'm going to multiply that by Y, which is my height. Okay, I'm going to stop there today. Hopefully you can take a look. Some of these formulas are review for you. You haven't probably done them in a while. We haven't done much of these this year, so hopefully this little refresher is going to help you out. I look forward to working with you a little more in math today.